Kent.
I'm Ebong.
And I'm Sonya.
And today we are dishing with you from Burma Restaurant, located at 746th Street Northwest in Chinatown. This is the only Burmese restaurant in the District of Columbia.
True.
Burma
and the best.
China.
And the best.
And the best.
I've heard
The
that
only-
it's Michelle Fenty's favorite.
Oh,
I
really?
can't speak for her, but I've heard.
Oh, well.
I've never had Burmese food, so this is going to be interesting.
It'll be good. Which I keep trying to get him to eat one of these, but he's like, no, I
It's
want
fried.
fried.
Yeah.
It's more for me.
That's why it sounds great.
Yeah, exactly. Our guest today is Jessica Andrews. She is the webmaster extraordinaire, founder of GI Jess, and just want to point out her fantastic camouflage outfit. Welcome. I'm glad that we coordinated so that I was not wearing the camo today because
Often she does with that.
I'm a big camo gal. That's who I am.
Good
Now
stuff.
tell us what your website is about. What is it about? Just like fashions that are camouflage?
Well, I'm in the military. I'm a naval officer, and prior to that, I was enlisted in the Air Force. And I'm just so passionate about what I do, and I just know so many people in the military industry. I worked at a military nonprofit and attended so many different events, but it was just, they were all over the place. There was nowhere to look up where events happened. So I kind of created this GI Jess blog for the DC area, sort of like your Kate Street Kate blog, but for the military events. And that way it's a one-stop shop for anything cool going on in DC or just organizations that I support.
First of all, we have to get a look at it. Jess is, she just explained,
Yes.
was in the Air Force
Yeah.
and is now working with the Navy.
Right.
Look how pretty she is.
What?
There are pretty people in the military.
Where have you been going?
I'm not saying anything.
I don't know. I just want to point out that
I'm not
she's
saying
gorgeous.
anything. I was still stuck, over the team. I was actually just stuck on the fact that she started in the Air Force and then went over to Navy.
So you're working
And
your
so-
way through the
so-
the branches. You're
Yeah,
gonna
so
go
why-
Coast Guard?
Army next, Army,
What prompted
Coast Guard.
you? What prompted you to make that?
Well, that's a great question. I was enlisted in the Air Force. I had my college degree already, and I wanted to become an officer. And there just weren't any openings in the Air Force. They were downsizing. I moved to DC. I met this admiral, and he told me about a direct conditioning program where you could submit a package. They select about a handful of people around the country a year. And I put my hat in the ring and was selected. So DC is such a wealth of resources. I mean, had I not been in DC, I would have never met these military leaders and these admirals who could tell me these things.
Well, for someone who wants to tell people in the military about events for them, this has got to be the mecca for that.
Exactly. Because it's a political hub, so all the military leaders are here. You have the Pentagon, you have Fort Myer, Andrews Air Force Base, Quantico, everybody's here.
So what are your favorite types of events to tell people about?
Well, it ranges. I, of course, love the big events like the USO, Fisher House, and then also the smaller scale events like Luke's Wings, which our very own Fletcher Gill here in DC created. And I'm also on the board of directors for Veteran Tickets Foundation. They're actually headquartered in Phoenix, but they are a nationwide organization, and they provide, it's two things I love the most, the military and sports, and it kind of marries the two, so
And
it really
cheap
made
tickets.
sense.
And
Free tickets.
Free. Oh, that's free.
Absolutely free tickets for members of the military that are current, former, reserve, retired, anybody who has graduated from boot camp, essentially, at some point in their life, is eligible to go on the VetTix website and put in what area you reside in. And if there's tickets available that either individuals have donated or an organization has donated, then you get them, no strings attached, a simple way of saying thank you for your service. It's the very easiest way to
So how long have you been doing this blog? So I can imagine now, after some traction, you've had people actually now come to you
They do.
and give you events, and
And
so it
that's
makes your job
great.
makes your life easier.
Yes, it's great, and I'm sure Kate knows, once you get established, people start coming to you. But at first, it was just everything that I knew about, and it's just a great way of networking, learning about organizations I've never heard about.
Do you give free tickets to give away?
I do, because that's one of the perks of being a board member. And we do love to get them to veterans.
How do you make the decision? I want to ask that question. How do you make the decision who gets to have what kind of special thing happen to them? Because sometimes you go to a Nats game and you see they're in a special section, or somebody's riding on the float in the Veterans Parade. There's all of these great special opportunities, but you try to be equitable, right?
Well, what's great about VetTix is there's a lot of organizations who will recognize the military on a Veterans Day or an Armed Forces Day or our wounded service members, and rightfully so. But VetTix is 365 days a year. Everybody, it doesn't matter if you're special forces or you work behind a desk. We want to highlight and recognize and thank people that have stepped up to serve their country. And this is just a great morale booster for veterans to go to a game in their area, bring their family, and it's just the simplest form of saying thank you. There's no reason why there should be empty seats in a stadium. And that's how VetTix was born. Originally, there would be, you know, when there's a football game, there would be the color guard or something, and they're ushered off of the field immediately after that. And you look around and there's all these empty seats. There is no reason for there to be empty seats, and there's no reason for the military to not be able to enjoy that. So VetTix recognized that need. It's a win-win for vendors, it's a win-win for the military. You fill those seats and you give appreciation.
And especially there's, I just recently met this young lady, 19 years old, from a town of 150 people. And he's like,
in the U.S.?
In Indiana. And he's like, this
Like you
town
said,
is
in
so
the
big.
US?
Yeah, in the U.S.
I'm joking.
And he's like, Washington is so big, so to have an opportunity like that for a young guy who's single and is, you know, not sure how to make their way around Washington, or, you know, young women as well, who, this is a great chance for them to really get their feet wet in Washington.
So what about, so obviously you have a lot of people that are in the military that are reading because they want to go to these military events, but what about, like, maybe the young ladies or men who are very interested in people in uniform? Should they be reading to know where they can go to find these people?
That's one idea, but you know, the most flattering and rewarding aspect about my blog is that females reach out to me and they say, you are so unconventional as far as what people would perceive a woman serving in the military. How can I get in the military? What do I do? What is it like? And I love telling them about it. War is not something to be taken lightly. There are people fighting and dying for our country every day, but it is the most rewarding experience, and
you don't have to choose what to wear every day. That's
the great part.
Other than the waking up early and running thing, I am all over joining the military.
Well, the Navy does have too many uniforms.
Too many uniforms? Really?
Oh, too many.
Really?
There's the whites, there's the blues, there's the
spot
digital
on.
camos, there's the khakis.
And even on the day she gets to decide what she's wearing, she's still wearing
goes camo. I still go
Yes.
No, it's one thing we love about you too, your diversity and the ability for you to be a strong female who's telling people all this fun stuff, but you also have a serious side, a strong side, and you're helping us to know more about the military. Congratulations.
So Thank
Congratulations.
We'll have to go shopping for some camo later.
We will.
That's right. If you'd like to learn more about what GI Jess does, make sure that you stop by the GI Jess blog. You can see the address to that blog on the bottom of your screen. And thanks as always for coming to visit us here, and come back next time right here on the District Dish.